Greetings and welcome once again. The focus, I should say, of this audio video, is to help you unlock your inner power, a guide to raising your magical energy. And I'm going to go over the steps you need to focus on. If you're really interested in taking a higher step, a bigger step up from where you are now to where you want to be in terms of magical power, because if you really want to be a good magician that can manifest things, that can turn your life around, that can make things happen, it all starts with the amount of magical power and spiritual energy that you are able to channel, focus, and put out. And this is an area that has been fairly lacking in the Western world. And I'm going to go over some pretty simple steps. Of course, everything needs effort. If you're really serious, you gotta master it by putting effort into it. But these steps are fairly easy to implement. Then the rest is really up to you in terms of effort and application and how serious you are. It's like all things in life. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it, okay? This applies to magic, like anything else. I've been saying this from day one. If you have been listening to me, and especially if you've been taking my courses, that it is vital that you put the effort in. And of course, sometimes it takes time. Everybody starts at a different level. There's no such thing as everybody's the same. Everybody's the same, and only in the sense that in terms of equal value, if you have put the effort in, you will probably have differing levels of skills in differing areas, or a different balance. And in that sense, yeah, we are kind of equal. But if you're talking about someone that makes no effort and someone that just, is really lethargic, we're not the same, are we? Because those individuals are below. They want to remain lower than everybody else. You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. You're not really staying still. This is the truth of life and anything. So you exercise your mind or you exercise your body. If you can't exercise your body due to injury, this is just an analogy, you have to make up for it by exercising the mind, right? And really honing and enhancing the senses that you have. Or same thing with magic. If you really want to become better than you were, better than you are, and someone that is able to manifest things magically, you've got to put the effort into focusing and building up the areas that you're weak in. So I'm going to give you the steps to unlock your inner power, okay? So you can raise your magical energy. So the first thing is to connect to the source of all. And I explain this in the Adeptus course and Exemptus courses on Gumroad, how to do that. It's very, very simple. So connecting to the source of all is the key beyond all the universes. This is the origin point, where we come from, okay? It is vital you establish that connection personally, individually, not through an egregore. Then, because we have physical bodies, it is important actually to take care of our physical bodies, despite what some religions will tell you, like the ascetic monks, where they sit still for many days, weeks, and months, and then their limbs rot. That's absolute nonsense. They'll achieve a state of, complete anesthesia, you might say, but there's no proof of them actually having reached enlightenment, because the whole point of having a physical body is to gain experiences. And if they then decide to, this is my opinion, but from what I've seen, and not only my opinion, a lot of Eastern monks as well, they don't agree with that phase unless it's your final phase of your life, where you're in late stages of your life, and maybe you're gonna perish in the next year or so, then that is okay. Otherwise, it's a waste. Okay, but I digress. Now, because we have the physical body, it's important to exercise. It's important to stay as healthy as possible. But one of the simple procedures, and you need a bit of courage, and of course you need to be healthy. If you have heart problems or high blood pressure, low blood pressure, you probably can't do it. But for the average person that's very healthy, cold showers to strengthen the body and energy centers, because in turn what this does is not only does it give you so many health benefits physically, but it helps your circulation. It helps open the energy centers naturally. You may have blockages, it opens this up. And then when we channel these spiritual energies and magical energies, we are able, because it strengthens us, and you have longer cold showers over time and even ice baths over time. And you're able to handle higher levels of current, higher levels of spiritual energy, which then we will focus and utilize when we perform magic and a magical ritual. So important. Performing Qigong, it's also very important. Now, there are lots of different types. You can't go wrong by starting with some form of Qigong. There are specific types for magic, and I have taught a few very simple methods in my courses. But that's important that you do that. Once again, it complements the cold showers. It does exactly what I stated just previously. It helps build up your body's ability to absorb and handle these very, very high frequencies of spiritual energy and magical energy that otherwise would be harmful if you didn't. Okay, it's like a fuse, and if you put a current that's way more powerful than the fuse, it's going to blow. So the cold showers and the Qigong really help your body cope with the influxes of spiritual energy, and you're able actually to raise your magical energy and power a lot faster this way. Then you need to master the ability of circulating these energies, orbiting these energies back and forth. Proper meditation is also important, even if you don't have enough time. If you just have 1 minute 30 seconds, it's fine. And I explain how to do, once again, meditation in other courses as well. But I'll probably put out a video on how to do it and how to incorporate more of these techniques, simple techniques that I've just mentioned. But proper meditation, where you clear your mind by not thinking of anything, and then the mind will wander, and then you direct it back to your breath. That's the simple method. And then every time it wanders and you catch it, you bring it back and you quieten the mind. And over time, you'll become a master of your mind. You'll quieten down, and you'll prevent all these negative influences from kind of like playing in the background even when you're sleeping and affecting you. And it's very important to still the mind and block out all those pre-programmed energies that have bombarded you throughout the day. So then the spiritual energies and magical energies that you are calling forth can properly flow through your body, your energetic centers, and you can start collecting these energies, expanding these energies, and again circulating these energies. It's very important. The other step is initiating into proper magical currents of energy. Now, it's important to do this on an individual basis and not into a group egregore. Now, there are a lot of arguments, and some people will say, well, anything you do with a group will lead to you being connected to an egregore. Yes, it's just the same thing. If you work for a company, you'll be connected to that company's egregore to a point. But I'm talking about initiation. Initiation is a private conversation between you and the source of all to help you ascend to higher levels. So it's a very private affair. And a proper magician of adept level that is teaching you, and there are very few that do this, should guide you along the way. Guide you along the way, so then you decide to connect with certain energies from the source, and there are various frequencies, the ones that are right for you. And when you connect, it's like a virtual private network. It's a one-on-one conversation. It's a one-to-one connection. Nothing external. It's not a shared line. An egregore is a shared line. And the problem with an egregore is that you can become contaminated and held back. And I go over this in my previous video a little bit. Okay, so that's what you want. You want to initiate into these currents individually. And I show you how to do this through the Kuji initiations. Very safe, very powerful. And all my students that have done this procedure have benefited in various ways. Everybody's different, so you're going to get different effects individually, but they are all very uplifting, and they help you discard a lot of karma as well quickly, which is what you need. But once again, the initiations that you need to be doing are initiations that are like a virtual private network. Okay? So if you enjoy ceremonial magic and ritual magic with groups and initiating into these things, I mean, it's fine. But I just have to be frank with you. You're going to get stuck because you're going to be initiated into an egregore, and this collective hive mind, so to speak, will end up controlling you. It'll hinder your growth. It'll actually hold you back in the long run. And that's why there are a lot of schisms that happen in these groups, because things don't align. It's like too many fingers in a pie, right? It messes things up. So like I said, ceremonial initiations are fun, of course. They're wonderful. You can do this with your groups to a base level. But when it comes to real spiritual and magical initiations, they need to be you linking up individually with the source of all, linking up with these magical, energetic, spiritual frequencies and currents one-on-one. Okay, that means you and the source of all. And I show you how to do that. The other thing that I have here that I want to mention is so basically the purpose of you doing magic is what? You have to be truthful. Is it just for a superficial base reason, like you want something material? Or is it deeper? Because the purpose actually of spirituality, so to speak, is to help you ascend, is to help you regain spiritual freedom and unshackle the chains that we've been put under, and lift the veil and ascend to a higher level, so we don't need to reincarnate back on earth, because we are then a co-creator with the source of all. That is the actual goal. So everything else is like a side effect. If your goal is very high and lofty, as it should be, then along the way, of course, and we're training in magic as well, you're going to gain the skills, the abilities to affect change in your life, to help yourself and to help others along the way, and manifest things as well. But to be perfectly frank with you, it takes time, and everybody is a little bit different in terms of how quickly they are able to use magic or become proficient with it. You only lose when you stop. If you stop and give up something, that's the moment where you lose. So you don't lose if you keep plodding on diligently, and you don't have to devote all your time. If you're busy with family and you have work commitments, naturally you have to do what your responsibilities dictate of you. So if you're responsible for looking after your family, Make sure you don't neglect that. You have to do that first. Everything else will come in time. So if you can only spend a few minutes a day on developing your magical skills, it's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. But the worst thing you can do is to have arguments with your family members, get angry at them for interfering with you, interrupting you. Be very patient when you practice magic, and eventually you will gain their trust and their cooperation. Just communicate. And if you are in a situation where your family is really against what you're doing, then you'll probably have to develop a schedule somewhere when you tell them you need your private time to do this and that, but don't become sneaky and suspicious too much, otherwise there will be resistance against you. Always try to find a way where you can gain the cooperation of others, but if of course they are turning on you, becoming very malevolent, and you've done your best in a decent way, then it's probably time you move on from that relationship. Or if you're a bit of a youngster in your teenage years, almost in your 20s, you're going to gain your independence soon, so don't worry about that. But anyway, the point of this is I wanted to outline the steps for you to unlock your inner power. And they are simple steps, but there are certain ways and procedures that you have to follow. But once again, connect to the source, have cold showers, do Qigong, circulate these energies, work on meditation. Eventually initiate into these magical currents individually, not through an egregoric system. And I said I will show you how. If you're interested, go and visit my Gumroad Magical Library. Take a look at that, or get in touch with me, okay? So those things, as simple as they sound, if you do these diligently, you're going to be leaps and bounds, progressing in leaps and bounds faster than the magicians that are not. Okay? Because you are actually focusing on the core fundamentals and building the foundation and strengthening your foundation, upgrading your foundation, and that's how you become a truly powerful magician. Alright, I'm going to leave it at that for today. A very short audio video session. Think about what I just told you, and if you're interested, get in touch with me or take a look at my Gumroad Magical Library. Either way, it is up to you. It is in your hands what you want to do. I just want to wish you all the best blessings, and I will speak with you again real soon. So thank you very much for your time. Subscribe and hit the like button and share the video if you have enjoyed it, and I will talk to you again real soon. Thank you very much. Cheers.